Access and permissions are important concepts to understand when you're setting up your workspace in ClickUp. They help us understand what everyone can see and what they can do within our workspace. When set up correctly, ClickUp Access and Permissions guarantee you're sharing the right information with the right team members. Let's dive into Access first.
Hey, thanks, Paul. Access is defined as what areas of your workspace people can see or navigate to. Spaces, folders, lists, and tasks can be made public or private. Public means shared with everyone in your workspace. Private means shared with only you by default, but you can also add specific people. By default, access in ClickUp will apply from the top down throughout your hierarchy. You can change access for people at any level. If a space or a folder is made private, people won't be able to access it unless you share it with them. If you share a folder with a person, they'll have access to the folder as well as any lists or tasks within that same folder that haven't been made private. When it comes to subtasks or nested subtasks, access is controlled at the parent task level. Now let's walk through an example of providing access at the folder level. Let's start by clicking on the ellipses menu on a folder and open the folder settings. When the menu opens, scroll down and select Sharing and Permissions settings. Let's start at the bottom with the Make Private option. Whenever you make something private in ClickUp, by default, it is private to you. Nobody else can access it. You have the option to share the location or item with specific people or teams in your workspace, which will allow them to see it as well. Click into the Invite box to share with other people. Use the toggle to enable or disable access for each person or team. In this example, let's keep this folder public. Now that we've set access to this folder, let's adjust permissions. Permissions determine what people can or can't do. They are set on the folder, list, or task. Permissions are not set on spaces. Click into the Share With section to expand and review everyone's access. This is also the area to adjust a person or team's permissions. There are 4 types of permissions available. View Only is the lowest level of permissions. People with View Only can only view information. They can't edit, make updates, or comment. This is great for stakeholders you're looking to keep in the loop. The Comment permission enables people to add comments on all tasks in the location. If the person is also assigned to a task, the person can change the status and add assignees. This is perfect for allowing people from other departments to act as viewers on your task by tracking progress and making suggestions. The Edit permission enables people to edit all task and subtask details and add comments. This permission does not allow people to create new tasks or subtasks. If the edit permission is granted at the folder or list level to a member, the member can update the settings on the folder or list but cannot delete it. This permission is great for individual contributors who work on existing tasks but shouldn't create new ones. Finally, people can have full permission. Full permission can do everything mentioned so far, along with adding tasks and subtasks and deleting tasks, subtasks, folders, or lists. Now let's talk about guests. Guests are external people outside of your workspace with limited access. Guests will only have access to locations shared with them, and they'll also see all people in the shared locations. For example, you may be managing a project for a customer and want to provide view-only access to a list containing their project work. Or maybe you're working with a contractor and want them to collaborate with you. Guests are the solution. Guests are invited into your workspace from the sharing and permission settings on a task, list, or folder. You can add as many view-only guests as you'd like. They're free. From here, enter the email address of the guest you would like to add and choose the permission. The guest will receive an email shortly inviting them to join your workspace. Guests navigate a little differently through your workspace as they don't see spaces. Instead, they'll see a Shared With Me section in the ClickUp sidebar, which contains all folders, lists, and tasks that have been shared with them. Guests can't be added directly to spaces. They can't create spaces, folders, or lists. They can't see everyone in your workspace, and they can't edit permissions. If your guest needs to be able to do any of these things, consider converting the guest to a member. Let's check back in with Paul.
So there you have it. You now have a better understanding of access and permissions in ClickUp.